Okay, so in short, I want to make a shelf because I can't find something that I want online or it's just too expensive. Maybe a combination of both. So instead of talking about it, I figured it's just best to draw it out. So in my house, I have a wall that's kind of like this. It kind of goes around a corner. And this is about 9 feet tall. So I'm thinking the shelf can go in this little section right here. And on this shelf, I want it to be broken into 2 parts. There is this smaller section here, and it'll have maybe 4 shelves for books or something. And then there's this larger section that I'm thinking of making a table, either for more books or for, who knows, a picture there, some plants, lights. But before I get too far into this, I now want to do a more detailed drawing, and then from there kind of figure out exactly what I want to do. Okay, so I've thought through enough how it's going to be put together. I feel pretty good about it. There's a couple things from the drawing. This is a little deep. It'll probably be half the dimension there because a book is only going to go back so far. And I definitely want to put books in here and along the top. This spot, I still need to think through what I want in there. These pieces here will probably just be 2x4s, and I'll paint those black just using some cheap spray paint. And the tops here though, I'm gonna leave tan from being some kind of plywood or MDF board. I'll see what's available. But yeah, I'm gonna run to Home Depot and probably paint the stuff ahead of time and then do a quick assembly of the whole thing. So it's always right after you finish something that you notice exactly what needs to be done. Initially, we're going to put a picture in this square region right here. But realistically, this is the perfect size for a TV, and we have a 50-inch. So let's just go do that. Okay, so that finishes off this first project. I have a number of other ideas that I want to make videos about, so yeah, stick around and maybe see you next time. All right, that was a pretty dramatic transition. Something broke, let's go check it out. All right, so as you can see, it looks like the TV is not broken, but when you actually try to turn it on, the backlight just seems to fail. It seems pretty ironic to make a video that starts to center around a TV and then the TV breaks, but I guess ironic things happen. Anyway, we decided to Google it like any other problem, and sure enough, the backlight or the main power board is broken. And the only way to really know is to take it apart and figure it out, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so it's time to see, is the LED the problem? So you see here the top lights up, that's just what's not broken. If I swap the top and the bottom lights up, which you'll see it does, it means the power supply isn't the problem, it's actually the LEDs. And upon further examination, it's this one. I tried them all, this is the broken one, and you can see this is what a good one looks like, and then this is what a bad one looks like, which just means it's not going to turn on. So now I know I can order parts, but before I do that, I want to try something. So knowing that I found the actual bad strip, I thought, if I just short it out, maybe it could just work without the strip. So a reminder, when it's not connected, it just did this, blinked. But once I connected it to this short, just bingo, everything turned on, which is cool. Except a couple LEDs. You can see bottom left, I think it's just a dead LED. These things die over time. This strip obviously wasn't going to work, and that guy is another dead LED. So at this point, I'm just going to order it and wait a couple weeks for it to arrive. Oh yeah, it's always right when you put the thumbs up. That's when everything starts to go downhill. So the TV first boots up, it's plugged in, and when it does, great, there's a backlight, but there's now no display, which is just awesome. It gives this like faint green streaky thing. The truth is though, if I were to squeeze either side of these ribbon cables, which is about 10 or something, it works. Sure, it turns off for a second, that's normal, but it comes back. And when it does, whoa, we can watch a movie or something, which was incredibly frustrating. But the second I let go, which I'll do in a second, you'll see that the screen just slowly but surely just fades into the abyss, which was just so demoralizing after you put so much effort into it. But you'll learn a lot in the process, so that's never some loss, but it still hurts. I was just so shocked that, the entire hinge mechanism, which there is no hinge mechanism, it's just the flex tape going back and forth. And I knew, like, a matter of time, this is just gonna break, but, man, I just got unlucky, I guess. And this is just me, just having the best time of my life 10 minutes after really letting the news sink in, but you gotta move on. Alright, so I found a bunch of cool stuff that I'll definitely be using in future projects. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.